All right, my friends, Michael Eschenburg here, Honest Dame, bringing you some honest astrology about the full moon happening at 2:33 a.m. on Sunday, February 9th. All right. So I like to note though that this is 233, which is Fibonacci numbers. You know, if you're familiar with a Fibonacci sequence, you know, you take one and then the preceding number. So it's like 0, 1 is 1, 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 1 is 3, 3 and 2 is 5, 5 and 3 is 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 84, then 89, 144, 233. So all these are, you know, these are jumps in these numbers as you take the preceding number, and it creates this golden spiral to life, right? This golden ratio. It's like 1 and 1 is 1. You know, like our whole human body kind of fits within this same kind of mathematical relationship. So this is happening at 2:33 a.m. here to Eastern Standard Time anyway, in Detroit. So full moon happening on early Sunday morning. Well, we're going to feel this Saturday night, most certainly, right? We got the sun at exactly 20 degrees, the moon at exactly 20 degrees of Leo, sun exactly 20 degrees of Aquarius. Now, in general, right, the sun now rules Leo, right? The sun is this eternal fire that keeps on burning no matter what. That's the heart of the zodiac. That's Leo energy, okay? So the sun is in its opposite sign. Okay, the sun wants to give, wants to glow, wants to add its light, wants to add its warmth. It's loving, caring, right? Courageous. No matter how many times humanity has created wars on one another, the sun doesn't dim its light and say, look, you guys are ridiculous. I'm pulling back. I'm going to stop shining light on you and stop giving to life and to humanity as a whole. You know, it never does that. It's unconditional in its love. It's unconditional in its nature. Okay, so that's where the moon is right now. The moon is our emotions, right? Our emotional needs as Earth's natural satellite. Okay, staying very close to home here. Okay, so we consider the moon, you know, ruling Cancer, and it's nurturing. It's caring in a different way of the sun, where the sun is like this forever beaming. You know, the moon's just like, hey, I got you at nighttime. I'm going to be able to reflect the light of the sun so you can see at nighttime. So, you know, this is very different energies, obviously very different energies. So in the sign of Aquarius, the sun is adding to it the community, right? It's more about the director of the show opposed to the star of the show, that Leo energy. So the moon over in Leo is saying, like, emotionally, I need to step up. Emotionally, I need to bring my A game every day. Emotionally, I need to recognize my own strengths. The sun over in the sign of Aquarius is saying, I need to be, you know, better at figuring out where all the pieces go. You know, I need to be better at directing myself and others in order, you know, it's like we all create boundaries. We create how other people treat us, how other people in the community work, partnerships, relationships, friends, whomever, family members. We set the boundaries in how we allow people to treat us, what we're going to accept and what we're not willing to accept within our community, right? So this full moon is not where they're lined up, although there is a lot of inspiration in this full moon. It's not one of the easiest full moons of the year, truth be told. Okay, Mercury, Mercury's just moved into the sign of Pisces. Okay, it's at a weaker point technically where answers aren't clear cut and dry. You know, we're sifting through this fog, we're sifting through the haze right now of the sign of Pisces, where our antennas are tuned to this kind of spirituality and a sense of intuition over clear cut logic. Okay, so this is not a cut and dry answers that are given to us. And on the sign where the moon is, you know, we have this like, you know, it's like you want to ride the bike, but you've never ridden a bike before. And there's determination and passion to ride a bike, but yet there's a lack of knowledge of how to maneuver this vehicle that you're sitting on. Okay, so there's constant falling over, there's constant scraping your knees, you know, and this human body is the vehicle that we're talking about right now, you know. So there might be passion and drive that's saying get up every time you fall down, get back up and start again. And this is dealing with our emotional body. This is dealing with our emotions, right? Our emotional moon. So it's just like every time we get knocked down, it's saying get back up. Find that strength within yourself to get back up and the determination to learn how to use this vehicle properly. On the other side, it's saying learn how to create the boundaries we really need within our community. Learn how to communicate with other people so that we are indeed creating the healthy relationships that we need, you know? Again, so it's just like the dog, you know, jumping on the counter or jumping up on the furniture or peeing on the rug or something like that. It's just like we don't get rid of the dog just because it did these acts. You know, we have to teach this new puppy or this new dog on where to use the bathroom or where to, you know, to not jump up on the counter when you're cooking food or whatever it may be. You know, just like we have to train a dog, we have to teach our brothers and sisters, our family members, our partners, our future partners, our work relationships. You know, we have to be able in our own community, right? There's no community without me entering into it. You know, it's just like there's a quantum physics thing. I mean, you know what I'm saying when I say that, hopefully. You know, it's just like there is no reality without mind entering into it first. So when we're talking about this community, we're not talking about a community out there. We're talking about the community that starts with you, you know, in your community, in your environment, that we need to learn how to create and set up these boundaries, how to create comfortable relationships to where we don't hit a breaking and boiling point, you know, to where somebody mistakes our kindness for weakness yet again and again and again, and then all of a sudden we hit this snapping point where our communication is not going to come out in clear cut and dry communication right now because of this, you know, Mercury in its shadow period in the sign of Pisces. We're going to hit that snapping point, you know, and it's as important that we explain, just like teaching a toddler, just like teaching a dog, teaching our community on how we need to be treated and what we expect and how we're going to do what we're going to do, and standing up and having the courage behind that to follow through with our actions, which is really, really important and powerful right now. You know, so coming back to the chart, there's a lot of other stuff beyond just this full moon that comes into play right now, you know, and I do these dailies if you're new to the channel, which I talk about, you know, all of these other aspects as well. We do have, you know, the sign of Aquarius is also a more detached emotional sign, you know, emotionally detached kind of sign, withdrawn. It's just saying, just like, you know, Capricorn as well. It's like, if I put all my emotions into this, I'm never going to get done what needs to be done. You know, I have to cut off a certain aspect of my emotions in order to see this bigger picture and to create this vision of the future. You know, and this is a very futuristic driven sign right now, again dealing with a lot of technology, the digital era, right? So the fact that the sun as well is not only opposite to the moon, which is home in its sign of Leo, right? The sun, sign of Leo. We have the moon creating a semi-square to the north node, tension, and we have the sun creating a sesqui-square to the north node, both down in Cancer. So this is reminding us, no matter what's going on in our lives at this point in time, to be empathetic, to be caring, to be nurturing with ourselves and nurturing to other people. You know, like I said in my, you know, quite extensively long Mercury retrograde video, we don't know what's going on under the hood of somebody else's car. We don't know what's going on underneath in the emotional body that we're only seeing this physical representation of. You know, so whatever's going on in our lives is going on in theirs. You know, this full moon does create more tension than some of the other full moons that we're going to be experiencing this year. It's the nature of it in itself, and it's reminding us again to, no matter what, no matter how many times we get knocked down emotionally, or when these things go wrong, you know, there are lessons there to teach us. These are lessons there to teach us to get back up, to find the strength in the lack of, you know, and this connection to the North Node, you know, again, reminding us to be caring and nurturing to ourselves, to whoever we're communicating with, to not yell at the dog, to not yell at the toddler, to hold its hand, you know, to guide it outside. You know, we don't need to rub the dog's nose in the crap. We don't need to do that with our other human beings, with our community as well, you know. So this is reminding us, this connection with the North Node is nurturing, to be nurturing to ourselves and to others during this time, as well as the North Node. I mean, there's so many connections going on in general. You know, North Node also creating the sextile to Uranus. There's emotional breakthroughs. You know, Uranus also creating the quintile to the Sun, which means this is a creative way. You know, there's a creative way to go about this. There's a creative way to teach the dog from peeing on the carpet. You know, for lack of better words, we're just going to roll with it. You know, and it's funny that everything is kind of, again, connecting to the North Node. And even Venus, which is just now in the sign of Aries. It's like we're taking emotional drive here. My love, wants, and desires. I'm no longer squaring Mars. I'm taking, you know, my wants, desires, and I'm in the driver's seat, and I'm going to figure out where we're going in this car, you know, and I'm moving forward, and that creates this square. It's going to happen for quite a few days. You know, this full moon energy is going to resonate with us for several days beyond, you know, just Saturday night, Sunday, and even into Monday. This is going to kind of roll throughout the next week as well. So again, whenever we're getting knocked down, to get back up with determination. Whenever we're feeling an emotional loss, okay, which can certainly happen, to remind ourselves, you know, it's just like every time there's a no, there's a yes somewhere else along. And every time we experience what we don't want in life, we have the opportunity to turn that around and go toward what we do want. Every time a door closes, a window opens. You know, it's like that. It's cliche, but it's the absolute truth in this particular case. So reminding ourselves that no matter what's going on emotionally, physically, to be able to get back up and get back on the bike, to get back into our vehicles, and learn how to maneuver this thing, because this is our lives. This is our lives. We're the ones that have to, you know, we answer to ourselves in the mirror every day, not to anyone else. The 1,000 people, you know, we will be disappointed by 1,000 people in our lives. If we only meet 1,000 people, well, whoever you meet, you will be disappointed with every single person you'll ever meet in life. This is an inevitability. But the one person you have to answer to is yourself, right? So how you choose to handle yourself and how you're choosing to handle the people that come into your life, this is a huge, huge awakening. Again, as this full moon is about illumination. You know, we're fully seeing the shadows illuminated. So what ways in our lives can we add that light to it? And what ways in our lives can we add this illumination to our own shadows of where we're coming up short, of where we're kicking the dog instead of training the dog. You get it. All right, my friends, have a happy full moon. I'm putting this out nice and early to kind of let everyone know about what the energy is coming up. But we're gonna have a great week ahead of us nonetheless. There's still a lot of great energy, and we'll see you tomorrow.